Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. I'm going to walk through the DSV A3 F1080 DTF printer the way you'd actually experience it on a shop floor, not just read a spec sheet. If you've been hesitating because the market is full of promises about ultra-fast and zero downtime, this review will try to separate the hype from the real value, so you can decide whether it truly fits your workflow or if you'd be better off looking elsewhere. First off, the biggest question most buyers face is whether an A3 size DTF printer is worth the extra footprint compared to a standard 8-inch desktop model. The F1080 claims a 2-speed boost over the older L1800, and that's not just a marketing line. The upgraded printhead and mainboard really do cut cycle time in half when you're printing full-width graphics for apparel. In practice, that means a shirt design that used to take 45 seconds now rolls off in about 22 seconds, assuming you're using the supplied 2-year ink and supply plan. For a shop that pushes 150 to 200 shirts a day, that translates into roughly an hour saved every 8th-hour shift, which can be the difference between meeting a rush order or missing the deadline. The setup experience is surprisingly smooth if you follow the one-click wizard that DSV bundles with the machine. You unpack the unit, plug it into a dedicated 220V outlet. The printer draws a fair amount of power, so a proper circuit is a must, and the software walks you through installing the drivers and loading the first roll of film. The roller system is motorized and self-aligning, so you don't have to manually tension the film. The printer does it for you. That alone eliminates a common pain point that many DTF newcomers hit: uneven film feeding that leads to streaks or missed spots. Once the hardware is ready, the real magic or potential trouble starts with the maintenance cycle. DTF prints require frequent cleaning of the printhead because the pigment-based inks can dry out quickly. The F1080 comes with an integrated shaker and purifier that runs automatically after each batch. There's also a dual alarm system. One alert tells you when the ink levels are low, the other warns if the film path temperature is out of range. In my testing, the alarms were accurate. The printer paused before a print failed, giving me a chance to run the self-clean routine. That kind of proactive protection is where the auto-maintenance claim becomes tangible value. Now let's talk about the ink and supply plan. DSV offers a 2-year bundle that includes all the standard CMYK inks plus the white ink needed for DTF. For a shop that prints daily, the cost of refilling can add up quickly, so having a flat-rate plan removes the surprise of a sudden expense. The downside is you're locked into DSV's consumables. Third-party inks are not officially supported and could void the warranty. If you're comfortable staying within that ecosystem, the plan is a solid safety net. If you like to experiment with different ink brands for cost or color reasons, you'll need to weigh that limitation. From a quality standpoint, the 13-inch printable area and 28801440 dpi resolution produce crisp, vibrant transfers that hold up after washing. I ran a batch of cotton tees with a detailed graphic featuring fine line work and subtle gradients. After 30 washes, the print showed no fading, no cracking, and the color fidelity remained spot on. That kind of durability is essential for boutique apparel brands that promise high-quality prints that last. However, the printer does require a well-ventilated space because the curing process emits a mild odor from the hot melt adhesive. In a cramped home studio without a proper exhaust system, the smell can become noticeable, which is something to consider if you're planning to run the machine late at night. Who should actually buy the DSV A3 F1080? If you run a small to medium custom printing business, a print-on-demand service, or a design studio that needs to fulfill bulk orders quickly, the speed advantage and the auto-maintenance features will pay for themselves in time saved and reduced waste. The 2-year ink plan also smooths out cash flow, turning a large upfront cost into predictable monthly expenses. Additionally, if you're already familiar with DTF technology and have a workflow that includes film handling and powder application, the machine slots right in without a steep learning curve. On the flip side, if you're a hobbyist who prints a handful of designs a week, the machine's size and price might feel overkill. The initial investment is significantly higher than a desktop DTF printer, and you'll be paying for features like the dual alarm and auto clean that you may never fully utilize. Likewise, if you're looking for a plug-and-play solution without any consumable commitments, the requirement to stay within DSV's ink ecosystem could be a deal breaker. There are a couple of practical weaknesses that show up after a few weeks of regular use. The first is the physical footprint. The printer, plus the shaker/purifier module and a separate powder dispenser, occupies roughly a 2 by 3 meter area. You need a sturdy table or bench that can handle the